Students, the next step is, now that you have both of these inseams on the legs sewn up and pressed, you are going to turn one of the legs right side out, and the other leg you're going to leave inside out with these seams pressed nice and flat and all finished on the edges. So you're going to take the one that's right side out and you're going to put it on your arm with this seam up, and you're going to put your hand out with your palm up, and you're going to grab the seam with the palm of your hand. And you're going to grab the one that's inside out, and you're going to put the right side out one inside the inside out, like you're pulling a long sleeve shirt on, a coat on over a long sleeve shirt. And you're going to make sure the seam's up. So both seams are up on top of your arm. And then when you get it on, you're going to take this seam that's in your hand and this seam that's up, and now notice you have right sides together. And you're going to put those two seams together and grab them with your other hand and pull them off. And you're going to shake them. And when you shake them, it's going to make them line up so that it's really easy to pin those two crotches together, those two crotch seams together. So if you look at it now, I have both of the crotch seams together, and now because you've sewn the legs together, they're no longer a J crotch, but it now becomes a big U. So you're going to start at the top, and you are going to pin the two top corners together, put them right together, exactly matching on both sides of the angle of the corner. And you're going to pin perpendicular so you can sew over those pins without having to take them out if you don't have to. It works great if you can leave them in. It keeps the... Then you're going to pin the corner. Then you're going to come down and pin the notch, and your notches should match. If you cut it out correctly, the notch should match. You should have a double notch right here. And so you're going to put a pin in the double notch, pinning perpendicular so the sewing machine can go over it. Then you're going to come here and you're going to line up these two seams right on top of each other. Get them right exactly on top of each other. And you're going to put a pin in each side and go pretty close to the edge of that seam to hold it down so the machine can't push that up. Because when you get this sewn, you're going to be sitting on this seam and you want it to be comfy. You don't want it to be all in a big knot that you have to sit on. And you're going to line the edges up. And then you're going to come to this side over here and you're going to, oh, that was the triple notch, sorry. That was the triple notch over there. You're going to line up the double notch right here, exactly. And this is what we're doing. We're easing. We're going to start easing this now and making sure it matches perfectly. And now we're to the other side of the U. We're to the other side of the U, and we're going to pin the top corner on the other side of the U till it matches up exactly. And if you have flannel pants like these, it's kind of nice because the flannel kind of sticks to itself, so you can kind of put it where you want it and then it kind of sticks together. So it holds it. All right, now this is not enough pins. If you don't put more pins than this in this U crotch, the machine is going to push, because the feed dogs push the one side that's down faster through the machine than the side with the presser foot. So even though this is matching now, if you sew it with not as many pins as this, only as many pins as this, it's going to push it, and this one's going to go through faster than this one, and you're going to end up at the other side with a big pucker. So even though it looks good right here, we're going to put more pins in it. So we do that by easing just like we did before. And you're going to make sure if it doesn't match, you put the top one right down on top of the other one. This one's matching pretty good because 2 points make a straight line. So I did 2 points here, so it's pulling this into a straight line. So I'm going to pin it about every 2 to 2.5 inches, 3 inches at the most. And I'm going to make sure those pins are nice and perpendicular to that so the needle can go right over the top of it. Now don't pin it to this. This is where your leg goes into the pants. So don't pin this down to this. I've had kids pin it all the way down and sew it down. Well, now how do you get your leg in there? So you keep it up and you pin all the way around this whole U area right here. over here and do the same thing all the way around, every 2 to 2.5, the very, very most, like 2.5 inches probably. Make sure, like I said, those seams are nice and flat on both sides. And can you see how this is matching exactly on both sides? It's looking really great. You want it to lay flat and smooth. The flatter and smoother it lays, the easier it's going to be to sew it. And I'm adjusting those pins anytime I get them out of perpendicular. If I'm getting them just even a little off, I'm going to adjust them so that that needle won't hit them and break. Because you may not have extra needles. If you break a needle, you may not have an extra sewing machine needle to repair it with, and you'll have to go to the store. Okay, now that we've got that pinned in a U, but notice it's only pinned these two down. It's not pinned to the back of the leg. You're going to bring it over here to your sewing machine. And this arm of the sewing machine is made purposely for things like this. So you can slide the part you don't want to sew underneath, and you can put this part you want to sew up here. So we're going to start at the top of the U. We're going to start at the top of the U and back stitch and sew all the way around the U and end at the other top of the U. And we're not going to sew along here because this will become our waist that we're going to go inside of when we put our legs in our pants, in our pajama pants. So we're going to line this side up on the 5/8 inch line, just like we did on the legs, and we're going to go ahead and do a back stitch. And we're going to follow that 5/8 inch line. I was getting caught there on the thread. Hang on, we've got a thread caught. Oops. Got to turn this off. Cut that off.